Hey guys, it's me, Radz, Radiant Plays, yeah, and yeah, I'm here in Minecraft for the next Razzler update, and I'm with the 5 inner Rads. Yes, they're all here too. They're here to help me with the video. Don't mind these guys. This is just part of a BBS mod that I don't know, I was messing around with. And they won't stop looking at me for some reason. Welcome to, another Razzler update. Anyways, I'm very excited because, I have a lot to talk about in this time, and I'm hoping that I can get it done quickly without, dragging this long as the recent episode, because that one's like 45 minutes. I don't want it to be 45 minutes. But anyways, I also would quickly like to thank you guys for the huge amount of support on the last Radzlore video, that being Corrupted Storms. When I'm checking it right now, it has about 500 views, and it's gained me like 80 subscribers right now, which is crazy because I did talk about this in my recent last video of 2025. Go see it if you want to. It's up to you. But this is for Radzlore. Also, I did kind of mention this in my other video that I am kind of sick right now. I'm still sort of sick, so if I don't sound sick, then good. But if I do, just know that's because of that reason. But anyways, I'm very excited because now I have a huge influx of people that have told me, commented on my videos, and I have gotten a lot of support. It doesn't feel real. It's like this has just been super crazy. I don't want to believe any of this because it's like, wow, this just came out of nowhere. I did say if I did not get enough support on this video that I would end the series. And when I said that, I meant I wanted it to do better than Dead Floors, because that one got like what 40 views and like a few likes, which wasn't as good for how well my series does perform. But no, guys, you made it so it's my most viewed video on my Razzlore and my most viewed video, and got me a bunch of subscribers and likes. And wow, it definitely means a lot. And I'm not saying I'm complaining or anything. I'm like shocked, basically. Like this feels almost unreal. I've still, check every like 20 minutes, because, comments mean a lot, and likes, anything. Like, it means so much, guys, and more than you could, ever know. And even for how small I am, it's great to hear how much people like my series, because, I do spend a lot of time on them. I do work on them a lot, and it's nice. It's nice. A quick, shout out to all the people who have left amazing comments on my videos. I'll put them on screen right now if I can find them all, but yeah, thank you to all these people for all the comments that I know of. I'm sure there's a lot more people out there liking and subscribing that just haven't left comments. Shout out to you guys too. It means a lot, really. And, even the people who were already here before, the big 500 view video, I still appreciate you guys. It felt like it was mostly my friends who were doing that, which I'm not complaining. I'm not, because they like the series too. I think they still do, but I'm just appreciative for everything. And I've been building a list for the past 4 months. Basically, I've been working on the recent Razzlore update for the past 4 months, and it wouldn't have taken this long to post and edit and do everything if I had just not gotten lazy. Because for a whole month I didn't do anything on the series. So in reality, this probably wouldn't have taken as long to post and do all this if I just wasn't lazy. But I'm better now, and I'm gonna be trying my absolute hardest to make more Razzler videos. I did talk about this in my other video too, that I'm gonna be focusing on Razzler videos a lot on this channel. But anybody else who is a new viewer here and watched it because of the Razzler, you know that I have a lot of other kinds of videos. That being server videos, being just messing around videos, just it's mainly just server videos at this point. I did actually record another video with Darley recently. It's no spoilers, but it's just both of us doing silly things in a horror mod. I might get around to posting that, is what I mean. So if you're a new viewer here and just want to see the Razzlore, do all the Razzlore stuff, then you are free to. I'm just saying that there's gonna be other video posting things that I'm gonna do here, so just know that it's not just gonna be Razzlore here. And also, if you're wondering why we're in a giant wall with a giant village, it's because there's something over there that you guys cannot see, like ever see. But no, it truly means the world to me, and I can't thank you guys anymore. And I don't know what to say. I now have 80 subscribers, or at least when I'm checking it right now, and I'm gonna be able to go live now, so that's sick. I don't know what I'm gonna go live about, but something, I guess. But no, I know, it's like I was saying earlier, I've been building a list for the past 3 months or 4 months or so, and it's something that I write for what I want to talk about in Radzlore. And there was a second Radzlore, if you knew that, but I kind of removed it because it did have a scene where it kind of, you know, it showed something that I think if you had focused on and seen that, it would ruin your viewing experience for Rad's lore forever, and I didn't want people to know that. So hopefully you guys did not see that, and yeah, I'm gonna be re-uploading it, and then I'm gonna post this video. So if you're seeing this one and don't see the other Rad's lore update, then it should be there eventually. It's Rad's lore update 2. I do still have the original one. I just privated it, so yeah. But this one, I have a very long list, so this is probably going to be a very long Rad's lore update. Hopefully not as long as the episode, because that would just be ridiculous. This list is also pretty important for new people who don't understand the entire, lore, the entire universe of what this is. And for that, I do recommend you see the other Rad's lore videos, if you haven't already. But this will also be explaining some things, so, But I seriously still recommend you watch the rest of the series and maybe other server SMPs, because those are the servers where main people and characters involved are that's who they are. And I feel like you get a better viewing experience when you do watch the other servers. You just you understand it better. You get more things because these are things that actually happened. Friends of mine who have seen the server videos and have seen the Radz lore will understand what I mean. So if you are a new person and you want to understand and have a better viewing experience for the Radz lore, then I recommend you watch the servers. But of course, you don't have to. I'm just saying it's an option. First thing I want to go over is, the entire world. It revolves around my past series. Like I've said before, the other servers that I have done revolves around the servers, but it also revolves around my past. Like my actual historical past of this channel and everything. Which it's something that I think a lot of people should know, that some of these things that you see are based off of real things that have happened to me and the server and my past making this thing, and also the wildcard servers. Like I was saying, that's the community that makes the servers that I'm in. But another big thing about this series is that what's been happening over the past few months before the big video, before the corrupted storms, that it's expanded to just more than Rad's lore. There's more to it. People are adding to the universe. People are adding to the worlds. And the thing right now I can say, because Game has posted about it, one of my friends, that he has, he's been working on game lore, or whatever he wants to call it, I guess. Pretty much the same exact universe, same thing. He's still new to the mod. I'm helping him with it. I did accidentally give him my mod folder that does leak like a lot of my NPCs, and I don't know how much he has in that. So, game, if you're watching this, please delete that. I promise you, if you look too much into that, it will ruin your viewing experience for Rad's lore forever. So, yeah, just the game. But he is making his own lore, and I do know some other people are adding to the universe. I'm not sure if any of them have said it publicly or if they want people to know yet. So, I'm not sure yet. I can't or can say if people are doing things or if people are adding to the lore. Right now, I can't say that game is, because yeah, he did post about it. But more so, when I talk about how people add on to my lore, it's kind of ironic because I've taken some lore from their own other lore before that and added it to mine. If that doesn't make a lot of sense, what I mean is other of my friends who are YouTubers have done other things, have told me things that are sort of lore, and I've kind of based around my story around some of those things. Just the main thing that's been happening has been taken from another person's lore. I don't really think it matters who I say it is. So it's Darley. I have taken some of Darley's own lore, and he has offered me to do other lore to combine our lore at some point. So I don't know. He can do that. We can do that at some point. But main thing is that Darley has had some other kind of lore that he's been doing within server intros and stuff. And the main contract to that is that I've been adding a part of that lore to mine that's been showing up ever since I believe the Hall of Threads. Since the Hall of Threads, I've been adding that thing in each episode. It hasn't been, well, it has been talked about, but not really directly. It's something that if you look into the background and notice it, then yeah, it's something that I took from Darley. And you might have to find it too. I mean, but you won't know what to find if you don't understand Darley's lore. So it won't matter right now, but if you're Darley or someone who knows Darley's lore, then yeah, go ahead and try and find it. But it's something that's there. And maybe one day I'll explain it. And also, like I said, this was also based off of, my past. And it's sort of important that you do understand my past to understand the next video. You don't have to, obviously. You can probably live without knowing it, but I'm just saying there is something in there that is based off my past. And a lot of my past you can find on TikTok, which is, I have a TikTok channel. I don't post on there anymore for my own personal reasons, but it's in my description. If you have TikTok, you can go see it. But if not, then it's fine. But I'm just saying, Yeah, these are just optional things to improve your, liking, your viewing to Razzlor. And want to just, look over my channel once and you don't have to look deep into it. Just looking at it, you'll understand it. I think at some point I'm probably going to go into, why I made Razzlor and what truly inspired me to do it. I can't exactly remember why I started it when I did, because a part of it, is in Tungsten SMP episode 13 that happened at I believe it was 13, was it? I think it was. At the beginning of it, that's where it kind of did start, but the full series didn't start until after Tungsten SMP ended, and so yeah. Bit of more Radz lore if you want to go see that. It's Tungsten SMP. I have a playlist for that, so if you want to go see that, which I do recommend, it's honestly a pretty good series, and starting it off, it gets better as it goes, I think. And I kind of just wish I had a better character in it, which is, part of the reason why I made Radz lore. But again, that's going to probably be another video. I just want to clarify that these Radz lore videos, I cannot be helped with in a way, if because I'm using a mod called BBS mod, and it's a thing where I don't really think it's something where multiple people can help with. It's just different. Many people can't really help with it because it's something where you can play as multiple actors, put clips together. That's all by yourself though. That's all you do. So people can't help with that. And for people who do want to help with the series but can't really help, that's why I do Razzler videos by myself, and that's why I just do it by myself because I really cannot get help with. So if you're ever confused why I do these things by myself, it's because both I can't, and one, I'm not good at, communication with people. But moving on, I am also kind of nervous for how this series is taken because I feel like Corrupted Storms might have been that gap, or I don't know, it might have been that one thing where it starts getting seriously dedicated to the storyline and how it progresses. And everything else has been storyline too, it has a thing, but I mean, I think Corrupted Storms is the first one to actually, seem heavily storied and very serious. It's starting to take myself. I'm kind of worried myself that I'm starting to take this too seriously, and I don't know. Again, no hate comments. I'm not trying to say you should hate on me, like I said before, but I'm just saying, I don't know what's wrong or what isn't wrong because nobody has said anything before. Yeah, I'm just nervous to introduce the new idea that was shown in the recent episode, that being the final act of the Inner Radz plot. And if you know what that is, that's a confront. I'm not. There is gonna be spoilers in this, by the way. I probably should have said that earlier, but there's gonna be a lot of spoilers in the recent Corrupted Storms episode and other episodes. So if you haven't seen any of Rad's lore, please go watch them because I promise you it's peak. Trust. Okay, that's what other people said. I'm not glazing myself. I swear. Also, just a warning, fair warning for people who are interested and new to the series, and even people who aren't new to the series, that I'm just warning you now, do not try to keep up with the main timeline. Or when I mean time, I mean that there's been some little text things where it says, "Oh, August 7th, 2025" or something like that. And what I mean is don't try to connect those, whether they say like, "Oh, that was 4 days ago," "Oh, that was 2 days ago." It's just something I overlooked, and if it's plot holes, then I don't know. But the main thing is the time. It is carefully planned, and most of it does make sense. There's just like maybe one or two times where I've messed up. So if you're trying to put together a solid timeline for when things take place, then don't. Just try not to, because I promise you, you will probably get a headache. I have tried to do it, and I've gotten a headache. So yeah. So if you're just here to enjoy the series, then yeah, don't worry about the timeline. Earlier, I did say that this revolves around, the wildcard servers and everything. And when unexpected things happen within those servers, it does change the story tremendously. One of the biggest things that have changed this story was probably Wildcards Aqua Referendum ending. That was when, if you haven't seen Hall of Threads, you'll see that again. I should stop warning you by now. I've already said there's going to be spoilers. The big thing is that the server ended right as I was finishing up the ending. It was originally going to end with Wildcards Aqua Referendum Radz just, waking up from the bed in the server, just changed, all right? But because the server ended, I couldn't log on and there wouldn't be any other lore. So I changed it so the room just glitched out and everything. So that's what I mean. That changed the most, and that created an entire new story. So yeah, no, quite literally, some things that happen within the server do change it tremendously, and that's just the biggest example, honestly. Because if that never happened, then the story would be completely different than what it is right now, and that's just crazy by itself. Like I said before, I do. People have started helping with the series, and some can't help all that much. The most you probably can do for the series that you can see in recent episodes, that being making skins, Radz skins, and stuff like that. That's what I did with Darley's skin. He did give me one eventually, and it wasn't the recent one. It was in the bar, and yeah, that was his. I think he noticed that. He said he did. I don't know, but that's the one you can notice the most. However, that's not the only way you can help. You can help by giving me ideas, maybe making worlds, and very rarely voice acting, because that hasn't happened yet. That was supposed to happen in Corrupted Storms, but then I realized, oh wait, I suck at communicating with people, and I'm not good at telling people what to do, which is, that's the main reason why I didn't have voice acting. It was supposed to be in the flashback scene at the bar with people. That's what the flashback scene was supposed to be, but it didn't work out, so I ended up doing it myself, and you know, I don't blame anybody else for that though. That's literally my fault. I didn't contact anybody because I've had about like four of my friends contact me, tell me that they're open to helping, and most of them saying voice acting, I think. I'm not saying I'm upset right now. I'm not. I'm just saying that at some point this series might not ever have voice acting by other people. It might just be me the whole time. And use the Radz box. It's in my channel description, so that's if you do want to help. Since other people are helping, I've also had to make a whole universe for it, which, for how everything works together. Because some people, like I said, mainly my friends who are in servers and stuff, are part, actually in the lore, whatever people call it, like actually there. So yeah, if you are a person who wanting to, be in the lore, it's mainly just my friends, but everybody else is there somewhere. I don't know. It's a whole universe thing that I can't quite explain yet, but I have made a whole universe for when people want to hear. So very excited. A big thing in part that I've just discovered in the mod is the day curve, which is basically it's a little day curve that can change the time that happened in Corrupted Storms or in the village. I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you look over the scenes, then you can notice the sun slowly setting, sun moving. Here, I'll show you. Obviously, there's this, as you can see right now. This is the weather curve. You go edit keyframes. As you can see right now, this is the sun rotation. It's at 14. This is at 10. And it changes really quickly because that's how it goes. It goes from one point to this point, and you can change it. See, you could also drag it here if you want. But oh yeah, I also use the weather curve. Which, funny thing about this is that when I wrote the episode for the Corrupted Storms, I wrote that back in October, and this didn't exist back then. Like, this came in a recent mod, meaning if this didn't come at the right time, then this wouldn't have existed at all. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't have happened, and the episode would be kind of ruined. But it did happen. Like, I did not know this was not a feature, and I don't know. It's just kind of crazy for me that this came out at the right time. And basically, this is just a weather curve. You can make it rain and stuff. It's raining, and holy crap. And obviously, when it's here, it's not. So it's clear, and it's raining. And it's raining. Okay, you see, golly, it's annoying. Also, if you are a new person or you're not a new person, there is something I do, which is, tease the episode before it happens. That being either in this one, in this Radz lore video, or when I post about it in my post, This time, how I did tease it was the vodka and the crab cage. I did give two little Morse code thingies again, which if you translate, they're just long form things for crab. One being a crab cage, one of them being another word for vodka, which were both components within the Corrupted Storms. I also did kind of tease it again with the title thumbnail of the last Radz lore episode, which is no longer up, but it would be up by the time you see this episode. So, Radz lore update, whatever. With that being the main colors of the crowd mentioned in the episode, so yeah, it has the colors of that. I don't think I'll be doing that again with this thumbnail, so don't look into it. So I'll be giving the next teaser when it happens. So yeah, probably my post. Also, I briefly mentioned this, but the episode took so long to make because I got busy, I got lazy, and I also started school at some point, and the voice acting was just, annoying. I kind of hated it. And I'm not saying like I hate voice acting. There's a lot of main parts you have to go through to get the episode done. One of the main voice acting, and that one's kind of my least favorite, honestly. It's just I had to edit that a lot, and that's gonna become more important as episodes go on, but just want to say that took forever to edit. And you know what else took forever to edit? The goddamn crab cage. I don't know if you realize that, but that crab cage was just small little blocks. And I guess what I had to learn for that? I had to learn block bench for that. Like literal block bench. And I had to make the structure myself. And it just like took forever to make. You know what I mean? So look, I can morph into it, but as you can see, the little details, the little seaweed, the little things. I had to make this in Blockbench. That was not easy to do. Like holy crap, it took forever. Is what I mean. Yeah, it's gonna be fun because because I have a lot more ideas for the series, and that involves me learning more Blockbench. Yeah. Another quick thing I want to mention is that in the recent episode there was also, two plots, them both being split, basically one being inner rads, one of them being tungsten rads, And honestly, I did have a poll for which one was more interesting. Right now, as I'm checking it, it does say the tungsten rads one was more interesting, which I don't know. I think they were both pretty good. I was gonna add another option for saying, oh, they were both pretty interesting, but I knew a lot of people would probably pick that one because I'm not saying that, but I feel like a lot of people enjoyed the episode in general, and if they just enjoyed one part more than the other, then why would they even watch it? You know what I mean? The reason I bring it up is because I probably might do it again in the next episode, and I don't know if I should because I don't want this to become a normal, casual thing that happens. I might do it again. So, guys, let me know if I should do that again or if I shouldn't do that again. I'm just saying because I'm thinking about it. I think it might help the episode progress faster, so I don't have to split these episodes into longer parts. So when I say this universe takes place in, I mean this is like it's also as I bring it up, I mean like this is just an amplified universe of the one that's happening right now. If you don't know what that means, I mean like it's the same universe, like what's happening right now, just different. Like it has the same events, whether that be starting a new server and ending a server and getting a design change or somebody leaving the server or whatever. That's basically what it's based off of. It's an amplified version, except, people have different motives, different things they want to do. But overall, the events that happen outside of Radz lore are that are mentioned within Radz lore are things that actually did happen. So, you want to mention that because it is kind of going to be kind of important to know that people might be a little bit different in the next one. So back to voice acting real quick. I just want to mention how I said voice acting was probably one of the most annoying things to do in that episode, mainly because like it was around 41 minutes of pure voice acting that I recorded, which I'm not complaining or anything because it's literally my thing I do, but the only character I did have sort of fun with was Mr. Barry, which if you don't know who that is, that's the freaking skeleton dude. Don't ask why his name's that, but if you check my YouTube shorts, you'll see why it's named that. I put a lot of pressure on myself to get this episode out, and which I don't recommend now. Which obviously because I made a lot of promises. Like, don't say you're gonna make it in the next week if you can make it in the next week, because that's what I said, and I honestly did work a lot on it. But by the time it was the next week, I only had the entire voice acting done and only like a few scenes done. So yeah, but it came out right when it did, and I'm just happy it came out. Otherwise, it would have been another month. Another thing about the background of the recent episode is that it does have background things like that I've started to add more clearly. And more clearly, I mean like if you look in the background, if you look at things around them and look at the subtext, then there's always been a little bit of subtext in the entire Radz lore, but I'm just saying now that there's a lot more, and you should look into it because now it's going to start just giving you background lore that you're not going to be told to. You're going to have to, actually learn it and understand it by yourself. Which I'm just trying this out. I think it's better than just telling you what it is because, it's more interesting that way. Also, I don't know if I ever said this, but the recent episode took before the server started. That took how when I wrote it in October, Bristol SMP did not start yet. So that's when they said how no server was running yet. That was because Bristol SMP did not exist yet. It was so we made. But by the time this episode was written and then posted and edited and done, Bristol SMP both started and then ended, which you can see on my channel again. And now I want to talk about, the future of Radz lore. And that's how, I've already started planning ahead because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I originally did not plan a lot for the future of Radz lore. I kind of just went along with it. I mean, yeah, I had some things I did want to do, but I didn't always plan ahead. And now I am. I already storyboarded how I want it to end overall. Well, kinda. Not quite sure how I want it to end, but I pretty much have it in check. I have a lot of characters' conclusions, characters that haven't even shown up yet or even had a dialogue. I know their conclusions, and so one thing I'm not sure, since these are technically, I call them episodes, and technically this is just a YouTube series that I'm making. I'm wondering if I should separate them, into seasons. And
If you're wondering why on earth I would ever do something like that, that's because, I just feel like it might be more simple, and also between seasons I could have, a little break, just something to study before then, because these episodes, yeah, they take a lot out of me.
Hey guys, editing Radz here. I didn't really mention it or talk about it in the video, but if there were to ever be seasons, it would probably only be 2 seasons because, I don't really have much more to add to the Radz lore stuff. So yeah, yeah, just want to get that out.
But I don't know if I should separate it into seasons, because when I say seasons, I mean like it's easier because you can define which season is which and what new arc happens within each episode and each season. So that's what I want to know. So let me know if I should do that. Leave a like if I should. Just because I don't feel like making a poll. So leave a like if I should. All right. And another future thing, I did briefly mention this in the recent episode, the comments. I said how I'm gonna make a short episode, and that is what I'm gonna do. Just mainly because I want to make up for being on and being as long. So I'm gonna make another short episode. It's just gonna be a short. It's not gonna be as long or like thing. It might be like 10 minutes maybe. I don't know, but it's not gonna be as long. I basically had a poll a few months ago where it said who should be the main character of the next Radz lore, and it had three people: Inner Radz, Wildcards Remastered Radz, and Engineer Radz, which and Inner Radz ended up winning, which was Hall of Threads. But now I'm basically gonna come back to that and pick one of the two people, and that's what the short episode is gonna be about. I can't say who it is, but it's a 50-50 chance on who it is, so you guys can guess. But I'm gonna make that, and then I'm gonna post it, and then I'm gonna work on the recent one, which I don't know. I don't know how many people actually want the short, but it just has a bit more lore, and I think you might be interested in it. Final thing I want to bring up is when they went outside for the first time, I wasn't sure what I wanted to add into the ending. I wasn't 100% sure what I wanted it to go, and I had no idea where I wanted the story to go by then, and now I do. Originally, I thought that when they left, they were going to end into like some like depths of a I don't know, computer or something. I don't know. I was thinking of Maze Runner for some reason. I don't. And like it was just gonna be a bunch of stuff. Like people were gonna be living in there, and there's gonna be glitches and stuff. I don't know. And if that sounds like interesting to you at all, or you would have preferred if I had done that, make it so like it's just an entire glitch area. Trust me, it would not have been interesting. It would have just been, it wouldn't make sense. There wouldn't be any progression. There wouldn't be anything. I think this match is better that it takes place, that the inner takes place underground and the outer takes place above ground, and I don't know. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that's it. This video is probably going to be really long, but it has a lot of story, a lot of things that are both important for people who have been here before and people who are new to this channel. Seriously, again, thank you guys for the amount of support. I hope there's more support. I hope there's more comments so you guys can tell me what you want, what you don't want, and very excited for where this is about to take off, and really, it means a lot to me. And well, with that being said, I guess that's it. Thank you guys for everything. Fans, lads, it's been me, Radz, and I hope you enjoyed this little yapping session. Anyways, let's get out of here now. uh, go. Go. Yeah. What the? There's another village?